to alleviate the burden on the MTA in terms of having a sustainable mass transit system. Now, if that form is going to be in the form of congestion, I felt that sometimes it would have been cheaper for some people who were taking express buses in from Flushing to drive into Manhattan rather than to take the express bus. And there were little inequities that needed to be ironed out in that plan. But those things can be worked out. There are other ways that we can do it as well, with a gas tax or tolls. I think that all of those things are things that need to be looked at. And I think what we have to make sure that people understand and people need to learn is that the emphasis and the priority must be on the mass transit system in the neighborhood. And by the way, the majority of people in this neighborhood.
And another one was killed the week before in Long Island City. And between 1995 and 2005, 44 bikers were injured alone on Roosevelt Avenue. Now, some people complain that cars aren't respectful enough toward bikers, and others say that bikers are a nuisance because they don't always follow the rules of the road. So what's your take on this, and what can be done to prevent future such accidents? Is it cars or riders, or both, who need to be more cautious, and what would you do to help make them so?
I think what we have to do here is make sure that everybody's educated on their rights and on their ability to be able to ride around the neighborhood freely, but with safety as well. We don't want to punish car drivers, but we have to make sure that bike riders also their safety is protected. So we need to have more bike lanes installed. We need to work on that. We may need to have delayed lighting systems where cars about priority for bikers as well. In many cities, bikers do have priority. And in this city, right now...
Roosevelt Avenue, first of all, okay, a bike, how do you going to ride a bike? There is no space there. You cannot even put a line there. Now, I'm not saying that the bicycle should not ride there. The thing is that no matter whatever the day or night or day or night, that lot of lights in every block. Nobody can drive so fast. They're less than 30 miles per an hour or 20 miles per hour because the lights are all over the place. And I don't know the incidents how happened. I don't know how the bicyclist is on the part of the default, is on the part of the bicyclist or car drivers. But the point is, nighttime I drive sometimes. I've seen bicycle people, they drove the bicycle, have no lights or nothing. They don't even, you cannot even see that thing is right in front of you. They should have some kind of a flashlight, some kind of a reflector on the bicycle. I've never seen a lot of bicycle nighttime riding in the street. It's a good thing for healthy and cheaper, but I have to have reflectors. Otherwise, you can go hit. That's very natural way of happening accidents. Now, you can sit here and say, imagine all those things. You can have all these roads of bicycle lights. Where is the space though? I don't see any road other than maybe 34th Street, 34th Avenue, or 35th Avenue, have little bit space, have a bicycle place. Other than Northern Boulevard, you can put a bicycle path there because people go so fast, and accident, you can meet a lot of accidents. I don't know where exactly. I think the best way is that people have to walk more. That's it. And the bicycle is more dangerous than we have to walk more.
Excuse me. I think there are two things that can be done. First, I agree that education is very key and very important for the cyclists and for the drivers and pedestrians. At the expense of the company, they will absolutely show the cyclist exactly what the rules of the road are, precautions that they should take. The drivers in our driving manual should also have a piece in that about paying attention to cyclists and the rules of the road for cyclists. The fact is that I have seen cyclists do things that they shouldn't do, just as well as cars. They should not go through red lights. They should not use and not have clothing that they can be seen. Safety. of the cyclists, as well as making the pedestrian and those drivers very cognizant of what those rules are. Synchronizing lights is not a good thing for the DOT to do, because when you change the synchronization, you get everything out of whack. And they must be in sequence for peak hours and not. That is something the DOT has worked at, continually do that. Queens Boulevard is a very good example. Queens Boulevard, I don't know where we would put bicycle lanes, because certainly they have used the service roads now, have put meters, and cars are parking there. So it's literally impossible. Problem with Queens Boulevard, and should be done, when they did studies for traffic, they took the back of a dog and they took the front. They did not do Queens Boulevard in its entirety. They did sections of it. As a result, they went by community boards. None of it connected, none of it. And that is why there is a mass mistake and challenge to Queens Boulevard. In the service roads, they put these meters, that when you get out, you are out on the pedestrian side, thank you, that is all that needs to be looked at, and these are the challenges that we must meet. Thank you.
All right, this question is slightly in the same vein. Between 1995 and 2005, 223 pedestrians and cyclists were injured in District 25 along Roosevelt Avenue, and 3 pedestrians were killed. What would each of you do to improve the safety of Roosevelt Avenue? What's lacking? Is it engineering or enforcement or both?
It's a combination of enforcement. It's a combination of exactly looking at the traffic on Roosevelt Avenue. The fact is that Roosevelt Avenue has some very bad patterns, traffic patterns. They have bad patterns for turning left and turning right, according to the Department of Transportation. Because for 4 years I was on the Transportation Committee in the City Council. And as much as the good work that was done under John Liu as chair of that committee, and the advances that we made, there was much more to do. And one of the things basically is to look at avenues like Roosevelt and Northern Boulevard. And how do we connect? It's straight direct to Flushing. Northern Boulevard is straight out to the island. We cannot overlook the challenges that avenues like that present to a community that is in the heart of Western Queens, that has a transportation hub, that is the most densely populated anywhere. We have very little green space. We have no parks. We have concrete playgrounds. These are all challenges, and we have to look at them in the right way. Traffic has always been a problem. As much as you say people don't own cars, it's simply not true, because they are the ones that are taking up all the spaces in our streets. They are the car owners of people living in Jackson Heights. The issue is there's very little parking, very, very little parking that's available. So I think these are the issues that we need to discuss. We can't look at it isolated in a vacuum. Thank you.
So you said 225 deaths or accidents?
Accidents,
Okay.
injuries.
How many deaths?
3 pedestrian deaths.
Okay. So it depends upon where it and what happened. And I think that if you look at the number of people leaving the district and going and driving, and bicycle and pedestrians, accidents always happen. It's a part of life. And we cannot blame anybody for this. I think our police is doing a good job and implementing the laws, but at the same time, we can put certain changes in certain neighborhoods. Now, I propose that in 73rd, 74th, 75th Street on 37th, you see, noise is the biggest problem to me. The people who own homes, I think we have to have a police sit there and stand there giving $350 to $400 fine every time they're home. And the people who drive in this neighborhood, I don't think that I don't drive. I drive all the time. And they wanted to go faster than anybody else. If you wait 1 second, if you're late and going through the light, they honk right away. I mean, they're all very happy to go faster than anybody else. Now, that make a lot of accidents.